Welcome to Conversations in the Closet. I am Teresa Romer. Here joining me today is Maz.
Hey Teresa, how are you?
I'm good. I'm
How has your
good.
day been?
You're looking good all in that pink shirt and everything.
Oh, thank you. And I have, and I know you're a golf fan, so I have my golfing attire on today.
Yes, but the real men do wear pink.
That's right, that's right. But I still don't look good as Lamar when he wears those. What are they called?
Loudmouth golf attire.
The loudmouth golf attire. I need to start that. So I'm still not in the cool group right now.
We'll get you in that gang there someday. I don't think I've ever seen you wear golf attire anyways.
Oh, I do, but I'm one of those that when I go golfing, I have to look like I came from 1920s. So yeah, so I'm a little bit conservative when I go golfing. I take it very seriously, and I'm really awful at golfing. I just do it for fun to
Right.
relax.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get you on the golf course then.
Yeah, next time you come, we have to definitely do that. But as my wife says, she says, I think you just go there just to do your business meetings and just to breathe the air. Other than that, I kind of look good when I go out there and I come back home and I don't do anything. So
Yeah, but they say most business deals are made on the golf course.
that's true. That's true.
So we're not talking about golf today, though. The subject today we're going to be talking about is obsessive relationships.
Ooh, I wish we would talk about golf now hearing this.
I think golf would be a better subject, but this one just weighs heavy on my mind because I see my daughter going through it all the time, and it just pisses me off.
All the time?
It just seems like, well, maybe I think the current boyfriend now is probably the best one I've ever seen her with in her life, because he's actually a good guy. But in the past, she's always dated these guys that are like so obsessive, just God, it's like they want to put her in this little glass container and not let her breathe, not let her have a mind of her own, not let her do anything on her own. They become so obsessive. They don't even want her to like be away from them for 2 seconds. Like,
so let me ask you, this happens a lot?
yes.
Oh, maybe she gives him some kind of love potion or something. Because if it's happening a lot, Teresa, I don't know.
No, I told her, I
Blood
said,
test on him or something.
well, but I told her, I said, apparently you're going after the wrong kind of guy. You maybe, and we've gone to counseling over this. We truly have. We've spent a lot of time in counseling because I want her to be happy. She's getting ready to turn 29. She'll soon be 30. She's never been married. And not to say that she has to hurry and get married, but I want to see her get out of this rut of seemingly to always date the same kind of guy for some reason. I mean, I don't think they start out as the same kind of guy, but they end up being the same kind of guy.
Well, you know how it is in these obsessive relationships is the guy or the girl never shows themselves to be their actual self. They pretend to, put this I am this most amazing person facade on so that you will believe it. And then once you get into that relationship, oh boy, will it go downhill from there.
Well, and you know what? I have to say that I went through that because my very, very, very first husband, we were together for well over a year. We were high school sweethearts. He was always polite. I mean, I could tell he had a little jealous streak to him, a little bit, but good God, we were 18, right?
What does jealous streaks count under?
Well, like if we were out, he might, when we came back home, he might say something like, I saw you looking at that guy. And I'd be like, what are you talking about? I saw you looking at that guy. Were you flirting with him? And I was like, what are you talking about? And so to me, that was a little jealousy. He didn't even want he didn't want my eyes to even roam around or see what was out there. Does that make sense? He just wanted me to only look at him and him only. It was just, but what was weird is I saw this little jealous kind of streak about him, but the very first time he ever laid his hand on me was my wedding night.
Oh, wow. Well, see, telling someone not to look at someone else, I mean, that just starts right there. I mean, those are the little baby steps that that go to the major steps. That's how I see it. For
Yeah,
from a guy's point of view.
yeah, right. But when you're in high school or when you're just getting out of high school, you're just like, oh, they'll grow out of it. It's just a young, immature thing, you know. And like I
Right.
said, my first husband, the very first time he ever laid a hand on me was the night we got married, and we were at our hotel after we'd driven through a snowstorm. And I wanted to have sex, and he didn't want to have sex because he was tired and he'd just driven through a snowstorm. And I kept at him. I wanted to have sex to consummate our marriage, and he slapped me.
Oh my God.
And I was like, "Whoa, where did this come from? This guy's never, he's never laid it." And that was the
Yeah,
road.
imagine you marry your wedding night, your wife is throwing herself at you several times, and you slap that bitch. I mean, honest to God, you must be pure evil to do that. I don't listen, Teresa. I don't know. You got this stuff. Then you say your daughter does obsessive. You guys feed these guys with something. That must, to beat a woman who is begging you to have sex with her on her wedding nights.
I know. But that was the very first time he ever touched me. And from there, it was downhill. And for 7 years, I put up with that nonsense. But, the sad thing is most people that have never been in an abusive relationship, they say, well, why would you even put up with that? But they don't realize that you endure a brainwashing game is what it ends up being. They brainwash you into making you believe that you made them do that to you.
Yeah,
It's a sick thing.
They brainwash you as well to make you seem very degrading and that it was your fault, the reason why I'm behaving the way that I am. I know this because I used to have a friend that went through the situation, and we would look at him and he would be this manipulative freak. And as you all know, I think in our previous podcast I've spoken this, one of these guys supposedly also came around my daughter when she was in high school last year. So I am this radar when it comes to crazy people, especially obsessive guys. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. And I despise a man that tries to control, dominate, or beat a woman.
Right.
All my friends and my family call me pussy whips. I would rather be a pussy whip than to hit my wife or to see anyone hitting another woman.
Right.
So, because I'm a mama's boy, I respect women deeply, and I don't think that any woman in this world should be manipulated by a man. But Teresa, it's also on the other side as well. There's a lot of manipulative, obsessive women that are controlling the men.
Oh, huge. But come on. Can you explain to me why, Maz? Just, I don't know, maybe I don't see it, but I don't understand why anyone becomes obsessive over anyone.
Well, that's because of how they were raised. For example, this freak that was, after my daughter, he tried to make her hate all of us. He tried to dismantle all of her friendships at school, and he tried to make her feel that he is the one that she needs. So at that point, it shows his weakness. Now, when you look at their family, there's no father there. They were having a lot of issues in the family. The mother was too busy doing her own things, and yada, yada, yada. All these things add up, Teresa. Like, they seem little to us, but believe me, for that one person that's in their desperate lifestyle situation as a child, and they have these things going on, it adds up and it builds your character. And you get older, you start doing these things to people.
Right.
I mean, that's how I see it. And I see that it also, and then it turns into narcissism. A lot of narcissistic men and women are abusive and controlling in their relationships.
Well, like I said, I never understood obsessiveness because I personally, I like to this day, my daughter just looks up to my marriage that I have with Lamar so well because she's like, Mom, it's so cool because you get to go out there and just do your thing all the time. And, Lamar will check in with you, but he's like, he knows you're okay. Like if you go to your events in Houston, sometimes he doesn't even call you at night. He just waits till you're on your way home and you call him, and then you let him go play golf with his buddies all the time, and you let him do this, and then you guys have your together time. And I'm like, that's because that's how it's supposed to be in any relationship, Tashina. You're supposed to have my time, he's supposed to have his time, and then you're supposed to have your together time.
Right.
That is a healthy relationship.
Oh,
No,
absolutely.
no one should ever have to spend all of their time with someone just because they're obsessive or jealous or they don't have the trust. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand it.
I think the most important healthy step in any relationship, it's that me time, to have that time to respect each other and to trust each other, to let your opposite partner go and do what they need to do and come back to you.
Right.
Whether it's going out with friends, whether it's just them going shopping here, there, these little things. Every human being needs it.
Of
Every human
course.
being is. Now,
Of course.
I have another friend, believe it or not. She's a very independent woman, but her husband controls her 24/7. And it's gotten to the point where she's getting depressed right now. And this person that is always cheerful and happy and this and yada yada yada, she says, I can't even go get my nails done before him, breathing up my neck. But then some women are stuck in a relationship because they have kids and they worry what's going to happen. I don't want to go through that phase. So literally, they come to terms with it, but that coming to terms turns it into depression for them,
Right.
because they're just swallowing it down, And eventually they're going to get to that point where they're gonna explode. And no one should be going through depression or suppressing your feelings to make someone else happy. That right there is a sign that you don't have a healthy relationship.
Well, what's sad is to see the amount of people out there that have no self-worth unless they are connected to someone. Like there's women out there that feel like they have no self-worth unless they're with a man, and they don't care what the man is like. Without the man, they just have no self-worth. Excuse me. And vice versa. And I think that's really, really sad. I don't know where that starts from. I don't know.
That comes from codependency. And that means that person can't survive without being dependent on the other person that's next to them.
I understand, but is that a learned behavior because they learned it from a parent, or is that something that comes from somewhere else? I mean, like I have to wonder, like, I mean, I personally grew up in a very physically, mentally, verbally abusive household. And
Yep.
and I got married to a man that was physically and verbally and mentally abusive.
But you also turn to be the opposite. Some grow up in those households and they become exactly that. You were strong enough to become just the opposite and break that chain.
I have to tell you, when I came out of that marriage, I thought the marriage was normal because I'd been raised that way too, so I thought, oh yeah, this is going to be just normal because that's how I was raised. But when I left that relationship, that marriage, I felt like I was lower than the scum that laid in the gutter on the streets.
Wow.
And I truly thought to myself, I can't grow through life this way. Like like literally he had brainwashed me to thinking I was not even suitable to breathe the same air you breathe every day. And
well, that's because they want to show you that you're this weak individual that only survives off of them.
Right, but what's weird is I did not have a parent or anyone that told me differently.
Right.
Something inside of me decided this is bull crap. Like, I'm not going to go through the rest of my life like that. And I personally got into counseling to help me understand and believe that I was better than that and that I didn't have to allow people to treat me that way. And so what's weird is, like I said, I didn't have somebody telling me to go to counseling. I just, for some reason, felt it in my soul that I needed to get some help because I didn't want to grow up like that. I didn't want to finish living the rest of my life like that because it was so horrible.
Right. Teresa, though, you should be happy that you did that, though. A lot of women do not have that power to get themselves out of that relationship all on their own. Right. As you said, some try to seek that help from different sources or family members or friends, and some don't even rely on that, and just they're stuck in that situation alone. Now, you were stuck in that situation alone, and you decided to free yourself of that toxic torture. And that's a huge step. Like I honestly, I didn't know that much of your background in relationships, but knowing that you went through that as a woman and you still survived it and you decided to end it yourself, that should be inspiring to many people, because many women do not have that power or strength to stand up to something like this alone.
Right. Very true. Very true. And like I said, it wasn't like I had some mentor or some person telling me, oh my gosh, life should be so much better than this. I mean, like nobody did that. I mean, I literally thought to myself, I have to find somebody to help me. This can't be what life is supposed to be like. So, I mean,
How long did it take for you to realize that and to make a step towards it? Did you plan it, or did you just spontaneously get up one day and you told yourself, I had enough, I'm moving on?
from the divorce or from just,
From walking away from that abusive relationship.
it probably took me just a couple months because I was also, um, I was a teacher's aide at that time, so I was working around older people, teachers and whatnot, because I was young, but I think because I saw what counselors did for kids at school, and by no means is a counselor a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but they do have some background in it. But I kept watching how counselors were able to help students go through bad times, rough times, or difficult situations in their lives. And I thought there must be someone that an adult can go talk to. I'm not going to go talk to the counselor at school, at a grade school for kindergartners, but so I reached out and to some people, and they gave me some names of different psychologists and psychiatrists and whatnot. And it was the best decision I ever made. I mean, to this day, I still go to counseling. I think it's a very necessary part for anybody, including my daughter. I make my daughter go with me too. And it's always brought us even closer together. But I do believe that counseling is the save all for most people, whether it's something you're personally going through or something you've experienced. I don't care if it's a death, a divorce. I don't care if it's an abusive relationship. I don't care if it's a breakup with a girlfriend, girlfriend breakup. I don't care what it is. I think counseling and being able to talk about it is one of the most amazing things you can do.
Yeah, and also just sitting there and letting it out. Some people don't feel comfortable doing that. Some people, and I have a lot of friends. They have so much pride. They say, "Well, why should I go to a stranger and sit there and talk about my problems? If my marriage is rocky, why should I go and listen to someone else fix it? Either my marriage gets fixed itself, or I'm not going to depend on outside help." I've seen that a lot, but to those that actually do decide to go to counseling, I think that's very effective in one's life.
Okay, so let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Why would people feel so comfortable going and talking to their priest at church, but not to a marriage counselor?
Well, I think maybe because from what I've seen in some of my friends, I think because maybe it's a huge reminder that they're failing going to that counselor. But going to the priest, I guess it's just a different source of comfort.
I don't see how. I don't see how though, because if you have
because a counselor has that title of someone trying to help someone that's in problems and trouble, seeking advice. But I guess the priest is. No, I get what you're trying to say. I totally understand that. Yeah.
Right, but there lies our problem, and that's why we have such a mess in our world, is because people look at, if they have to go talk to a psychologist or psychiatrist, they must be failing at something, and they let their pride get in the way. The same thing happens to, overweight people. They're like, why should I go hire a trainer? I mean, I should be able to do this on my own. And so they think by hiring a trainer, they're failing at being able to take control of their body. And it's true. And that's the biggest. I tell people that is the biggest step. Look at people that need to quit smoking. They usually have to go ask for help. Most people that need to lose weight, they have to go ask for help. And that's the biggest first step for most people, is getting their pride out of the way and asking for help. Because guess what? We're not all of us are not superstars when it comes to marriages and weight loss and quitting smoking. And I mean, like, we all need help in all of those departments. We all do.
Right. Yeah,
Not,
everyone does. Everyone
not,
does.
I mean, let's look at you. You're this expert when it comes to social media. Am I? No, but
No,
I had to ask for help from you, right?
right.
Does that mean I'm a failure? Hell
Nope.
no. That
Nope.
just means that that's not my expertise.
Oh, believe
So,
me, even with my knowledge and my team and years of being in this industry and having, the knowledge and connections that I have, I still learn daily from the people that work with me.
right.
So it doesn't mean that I'm failing. Doesn't I don't think it's necessary that anyone. I think that's a wrong approach. I totally agree with you. I think someone should go to counseling if they need that help, and that person may have better advice for you than
Right.
you on your own.
But that's just like me. Like, say maybe I need to reach out to a lawyer to get some legal advice about a trademark or something. Well,
Absolutely.
does that mean I'm a failure because I can't figure that out on my own? No, I need this lawyer's legal advice. That's what I'm paying him for. That's his expertise.
Absolutely.
So the same thing comes when it comes to a psychologist. That is their expertise. Their expertise is in the area of trying to help people and keep people united and help people get past their past, because God knows we all have past.
Oh, every one of us does. If someone is gonna come to your life and tell you they don't have a past, that is bullshit. We all have a past, whether we come from good families, good parents, whatever. Something in our lives happened somewhere that we're all affected by it that we haven't forgotten about. I totally believe in that.
So I basically call it excess baggage.
Excess baggage. And Teresa, I highly, highly, highly want to remind anyone that's listening to this who's in an abusive relationship, whether it's mental abuse, physical abuse, obsessive, jealousy, you name it, do not tolerate it. No woman or no man in this world should be given that much power to take over your life.
No.
Stand up to it and seek help in any form that you can, because you do not deserve to be in that relationship. You deserve a better life. And if anyone out there is going to help you, take that help.
And believe me, there's a lot of companies out there that do it for free. You don't have to pay for it. I mean, like, so
shit, I'll do it for free. I'll put my number. Give me a call. I'll come with my baseball bat.
But I'm just saying, don't ever feel that the price is why you can't reach out for help. There's a lot of free, just like there's free legal advice out there, there's free help out there to try to get away from someone that's being mentally, verbally, and physically abusive to you. And that means obsessive also, people. Seriously.
Of course.
Seriously. So another fantastic subject, Maz. I love these subjects. I could just talk for hours and hours and hours about all of this, but I know we're limited on time. So once again, guys, just make sure you get out there and find help. Do not tolerate it. Your life is too short. We're actually here on this earth for just a blink, really, when you look at it. And so you don't ever want to sit there 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now and have regrets that you stayed too long in a relationship that just took your life away from you, So
exactly.
Get out there and reach out for the necessary help to get yourself out of the situation. So with that said, guys, remember, once again, I'm out there everywhere on social media: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Pinterest, of course, this YouTube channel, which is Conversations in the Closet. And make sure you check out my other YouTube channel, Teresa Romer. We're always having fun. Life is all about fun. So with that said, guys, thanks, Maz, for another fantastic subject. And
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I hope you all have another great week.
Bye, Teresa.
Bye-bye.